See, don't like the fact that we're associated with anything negative ever. That is Aaron and Jimmy. They've been
jousting a bit.
There's accusations made about people that can lead to lawsuits. Why Jimmy Kimmel felt the way he felt, especially with his position. But I think Aaron was just trying to talk shit. Now,
I know what a lot of comments are gonna say.
Mike, you're not talking about the ending to the Lions and Cowboys game because you are biased towards the Cowboys.
I promise you it's not that. We took a little mini vacation during the new year. If you guys followed me on Snapchat and my Instagram, you'd see that I went to some concerts. I took some time to relax because we went in on December. And then we returned to just so many storylines. So we're a little backloaded. But you have my word and my team's word. And we're going to get you all the content that you guys want. And if you have any requests, I go through the comment section to make sure I hit each and every topic that you want me to discuss. So before we get to the content, make sure you drop like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to help the channel grow. And if you want to go the extra mile to support the channel, we drop exclusive early content to channel members. Just click the join button next to the subscribe button to check that out, or go into the description and check out the Mike Mafia channel memberships. Now that we get all that out of the way, we made $1,100 off of a $20 entry on Prize Picks. And it wasn't just me, it was everyone that followed these picks on my Instagram story. And the best feeling is the amount of people that made money as a result of this. I mean, bam, 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 bam! My DMs were flooded, so the best part for me was seeing you guys make money as well. But we're not done yet. If you haven't signed up for Prize Picks, use my promo code Mikerophone to double your deposit up until $100 on Prize Picks. And I give away my picks on a daily basis for free on my Instagram story and now my Snapchat story. We're having so much fun doing this. I'm so happy that I made you guys some money. And thank you, Prize Picks, for the sponsor. Mike Chuck 1212. What's going on, everybody? Jimmy Kimmel is an individual that needs no introduction. He has one of the most popular talk shows on television, and he's considered by many to be a funny individual. I'm personally not a fan of comedians that seem to have some sort of political agenda. It's nothing against them, they still could be funny. I just don't like when it feels like political points are being hidden within content that I'm consuming, whether it's in comedy, or it's in Star Wars, or it's in anything, which is why I personally try to stay away from any type of political stuff on this channel. Sometimes I fail, but for the most part, I feel like you have enough media that is trying to shove some sort of agenda down your throat, and we try not to do this on this channel. We try to talk about football, and obviously the derivative funny dramas that surround football, such as this content. Now, a few years ago, I'm sure you guys remember, Aaron Rodgers went absolutely viral on social media for kind of finessing the fact that he didn't take the vaccine. I'm sure you guys remember when he was asked if he did get the vaccine, he said, "I've been immunized."
Are you vaccinated, and what's your stance on vaccinations?
Yeah, I've been immunized.
Which I personally thought was such a funny finesse. It's like if you're in middle school and the teacher asks you, have
You done the homework?
and you say,
I've done homework.
but obviously, comedians like Jimmy Kimmel, Trevor Noah, Stephen Colbert, Seth Meyers all took this and ran with it.
How dare you not take the vaccine?
They would say. And while I do believe Aaron Rodgers had a legitimate reason for not taking the vaccine, and he had his own stance, Jimmy Kimmel obviously used this as comedic content.
Raj defended himself. He said he tested negative over 300 times before testing positive. The same kind of logic your 95-year-old grandmother uses to justify keeping her driver's license.
Vaccine is so great. Then how come people are still getting COVID?
And if parachutes are so great, how come 11 people died skydiving last year?
Obviously, at the time, many people were roasting Aaron Rodgers for getting advice from Dr. Joe Rogan. But at the end of the day, Aaron Rodgers is entitled to do whatever he wants with his body, and it's his own decision. But it was obviously a huge talking point. The reason I'm bringing this up is this would be the start of a very fun feud. Aaron Rodgers and Jimmy Kimmel would go back and forth with one another, with Jimmy Kimmel famously calling him,
Aaron is a a Karen. That's the fact of the matter.
Kimmel would say that no one seems to know that he wasn't vaccinated. He hasn't been wearing a mask, even where it's required, and at one point, he claimed he was immunized, but looking back at when he said it, it should have been obvious that he was not. We now know that he is not vaccinated, because unvaccinated players who test positive have to isolate for 10 days. Had he been vaccinated, he would have had a chance to play this weekend. Aaron is a Karen, that's the fact of the matter. Honestly, the only thing worse than not getting vaccinated when you're in close contact with other people is letting them think you're vaccinated when you're not. It's basically the COVID equivalent of the condom fell off. Now, for the most part, we wouldn't really hear much about this beef for quite some time, and it's not like Jimmy Kimmel was the only individual that would call out Aaron Rodgers for his decision. But when Aaron Rodgers struck back, he really hit Jimmy Kimmel where it hurt, and he wouldn't strike back until about 11 months ago. Aaron Rodgers would make his regular appearance on the Pat McAfee show and would say this.
Timing on everything, a lot of other things going on in the world. Did you hear about the Epstein client list about to be released too?
What's that? What are you talking about?
There's some files that have some names on it that might be getting released pretty soon.
Oh.
Now, of course, this individual's client list has been a huge topic for the past 4 years, ever since the documentary came out about him and it hit the mainstream. One individual who is allegedly expected to be named on this list is none other than Jimmy Kimmel. Now, bear in mind, these are all allegations. This is all speculation. The basis of my own speculation is just take a look at how defensive Jimmy Kimmel acts every single time this list is brought up. I mean, this was Jimmy Kimmel's reaction to what Aaron Rodgers said.
Needless to say, all this UFO talk has the tinfoil hatters going wild, including Green Bay whackpacker Aaron Rodgers. Oh, might be time to revisit that concussion protocol, Aaron.
I mean, even David Bakhtiari would tweet out saying, "Tell me that you're on the client list without telling me you're on the client list." But this wouldn't be the first time Kimmel would be accused as such. Here's a video of Kimmel with Adam Perry Lang, who was Epstein's personal chef for years. Now, could this be a mere coincidence because this guy's a private chef that is really good at what he does? I mean, maybe. Obviously, you can make that argument. Another argument you can make is some of Jimmy Kimmel's old skits really aged terribly.
Tell us what you think of the statue. I mean, do you think that
But on top of that, a UFC fighter by the name of Joel Bauman would even call out Kimmel after a recent victory, saying this.
Secondly, Jimmy Kimmel, viral this. Until they release the flight logs. You, the mainstream media, Hollywood, are all files to me. Eat.
Now, the one thing that is really interesting about this is the moment people call out Kimmel, it seems like he automatically jumps on the defensive. And I think it's even more comical because if you're a good comedian, you know how to make the most out of these situations and make light about these situations and make a complete joke out of these situations. But Jimmy Kimmel doesn't take that route. Most recently, Aaron Rodgers appeared on the Pat McAfee show again because the client list is about to be released. So Aaron Rodgers would go on the Pat McAfee show and say this.
Epstein list that came out?
Feels like
It's supposed to be coming out soon. A lot of people, including Jimmy Kimmel, are really hoping that doesn't. If that list comes out, I definitely will be popping some sort of bottle.
And Jimmy Kimmel's reaction went so viral that this tweet got 63 million views by the time it was tweeted out. You would say, "Here, for the record, I've not met, flown with, visited, or had any contact whatsoever with Epstein, nor will you find my name on any list other than the clearly phony nonsense that soft-brained wackos like yourself can't distinguish from reality. Your reckless words put my family in danger. Keep it up, and we'll debate the facts further in court at Aaron Rodgers 12. I'll be honest, I think this is really funny because for a period of time, Jimmy Kimmel would go on his show and make wild, unfounded accusations against the previous administration in the United States. And this isn't me taking one side or the other, it's just some of the headlines are bizarre, like Jimmy Kimmel convinced Trump P-tape exists beyond a treasonable doubt. And yet, here's another unfounded, wild, baseless claim that Kimmel made on his show. Jimmy Kimmel says unvaxxed Americans who've taken ivermectin should be denied ICU beds and left to die. Rest in peace, Wheezy. I think the thing that that bothers me the most about this situation is the fact that you're a comedian. If it's your job to make fun of other individuals and dish out jokes in regards to these other individuals, you certainly should be able to take it. At the end of the day, do I think Kimmel's gonna appear on the list or not? I mean, we're gonna find out for ourselves. I just felt like this feud was so funny, especially considering the fact that Rodgers was able to elicit this type of reaction from him, and especially considering the fact that this tweet currently has 66 million views, which, by the way, shout out to Pat McAfee, because this is 66 million views of free press for him, which more power to him. That's amazing. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Are you Team Kimmel or Team Aaron Rodgers? Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.